So I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and he said, most of the times I do really well. But man, sometimes I just want to lose control. I want to lose myself entirely. And it stood out to me because, first of all, I could relate to this very well. And secondly, it's not a standard answer. It's a very honest answer. And it already shows that he did some really good self-reflection on this, right? And so I said, yeah, like tell me more about this, right? Like what does it mean to you to lose control? Because we live in a culture that likes to pathologize everything. You know, you watch porn, okay, you must be an addict. You know, you get angry, you set boundaries or something, and okay, maybe you're a narcissist. You like to spend a lot of time alone. Maybe he's on the spectrum, you know, and that's definitely me. and that's a huge mistake, right? Because he's pointing to a real need, and so it's really worth taking into this. For example, are we trying to find relief from pressure? And if so, where is this pressure building? Is it biological? Is it mental? Is it emotional? Maybe you just love the thrill of diving into the unknown, right? Because it makes you feel alive, right? And, you know, we all need a balance between certainty and uncertainty in our lives to have a fulfilling life experience, right? Or maybe it's just plain and simple that we're running away from uncomfortable feelings or unresolved trauma. And if that's the case, then there's ways to deal with that as well, right? And these questions really matter, right? Because it determines whether our solution is actually solving the problem. But we rarely question what actually drives us. And so we get stuck between like, I really want to do this, but I shouldn't do this, you know, kind of like between a rock and a hard place. And that's exactly where the enemy wants us, you know, but we'll get to that in a moment. But when I think about this myself, some of my best moments were when I lost myself, but so were also my worst moments, right? So for example, getting lost in the moment, dancing or driving the motorbike or playing with your dog or your kids on a sunny day, right? Versus losing yourself into addiction or a toxic relationship or despair. And this reminds me of a quote of C.S. Lewis. He says, don't think less of yourself, but think of yourself less, right? And so there is real freedom to be found in losing ourselves, real aliveness, real peace. But it makes a huge difference like what we're losing ourselves into. We are designed to seek the unknown. We are designed for deep surrender and to embrace God's mystery. But the world has a counterfeit for everything, right? And so Satan's a bliss dealer, and he's always just one click away.
What you want? I got ketamine, meth, MDMA, Adderall, bromo dragonfly, heroin, coke, crack, codeine.
We long for the unknown, and that is a real desire. But here's the thing, not everything that is hidden is sacred, and this is how the enemy operates. He creates taboo as a counterfeit for God's mystery to hijack that desire using words like hidden, secret, special, you know, and God is a mystery, but he's not a secret, and there's a real difference in that. But because of this, we often confuse transgression into taboo for initiation into something sacred. And you see this in Tantra all the time. Things like hidden knowledge, the lost Gospels, the forbidden fruit. Now you might be thinking probably that, wait a minute, didn't God create this whole situation with the forbidden fruit and stuff? And he did, but it was a test that Satan turned into a trap. It was a test of trust. Do you trust me that I am enough? And of course, we don't, right? And so we seek knowledge because we don't trust the all-knowing. We seek power because we don't trust the all-powerful. And we seek freedom because we don't trust God. The forbidden fruit was a test, not a trap. And the difference between taboo and mystery is that taboo gives us what we want, but leaves us empty. And the mystery doesn't give us what we want, but leaves us full. Now, I am aware that there is a bit of a risk to start over spiritualizing everything and saying like God is the answer to everything. And even though I am kind of saying that, but let's bring it a bit closer to home with an example. I've said in the past that our romantic relationships can be seen as kind of like a testing ground and a preparation for the ultimate relationship, right? And where we fuck up and we find out, we learn what it is to love and what it is to lose, and where, in a way, the feminine poses herself as a mystery as well, which creates a very powerful pull towards her, not because of what is seen, but because of what is not seen. And this is what drives men to fight wars, right? And to slay dragons, and quite frankly, sometimes drives them also mad. A woman is a mystery that wants to be revealed, but only by the one who is worthy. And that's what the whole knight in shining armor slaying dragons represents. And of course, this only works when the woman holds up her end of the deal, right? Which is to preserve her chastity. Because without it, the whole equation just falls apart. And herein lies the actual problem, because this setup is meant as a test, not a trap. And that's what porn is, and even things like casual sex, because in these cases, she's never really yours, you're just the next in line. And that's what destroys both men and women, because he got something he didn't earn, and she lost something she could never get back. So my advice for this week is that if you feel the desire to lose yourself or to lose control, don't just take that desire at face value, and see if you can dig a little bit deeper into this and understand that this desire is inherently good, but it needs to be redirected towards what we're actually longing for. I know this is easier said than done. We live in a world that's become a massive minefield of all kinds of traps. So if you need extra support with this, there's a link below this video where you can book a call with me and learn how to embrace your desire, but without being governed by it. Because as long as we can't say no to sex, we can't really say yes to it either. And herein, that's the key to a fulfilling life and a fulfilling sex life. So guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.